Hey y'all, back again with another one, and today we're going to be talking about Falcon, Winter Soldier, and the possible future of the MCU. Now, there's a lot going on. Now, hey, spoiler warning: if you have not seen Falcon and Winter Soldier, if you're not all the way caught up, if you haven't seen everything before that, hey, this is your warning. Stop now, turn back, go find something else, go watch Hip Hop DX or something from All Deaf Digital. Go do something else. But hey, this is your spoiler warning and the last one again. Now, in Falcon and Winter Soldier, there was some shifts, some changes, and some things that I've been waiting for a while since they first brought in the Howling Commandos in Captain America: The First Avenger. I was waiting because some of you may have seen that movie. There was a black guy in the Howling Commandos who I thought was going to be one of the Bradleys, because if you know the comics, you know that there was an actual black Captain America before Sam Wilson. It was was it Isaiah? Either Isaiah or Elijah Bradley. One was the actual grandfather, and he was the first black Captain America. But a lot like Blue Marvel in comics, it happened at a time when America was still extremely racist and refused to accept that a black man could be a hero. So, like Blue Marvel, aka Adam Brashear, a character created by Kevin Grebo, aka Raze. If you've ever seen the Underworld movies, the really big black werewolf, he's actually a very smart guy, and he's a comic writer as well. He created the character Blue Marvel, or Adam Brashear in comics, who is one of the most powerful characters to ever set foot in any Marvel universe. And he's badass. He's not like OP, he's not broke or anything like that. Just a dope character who we may actually be seeing in the next Captain Marvel movie, or The Marvels. Now, with The Marvels, that's supposed to have Brie Larson returning as Captain Marvel. Tiana Paris making her return as Spectrum, or also possibly Captain Marvel, because they shared that name for a while in the comics. And then with what is her name? I want to say it's Iman Vellani. I'm sorry if I got that name wrong, but she is going to be playing Miss Marvel, who in the comics is an Inhuman and a very big fan of Captain Marvel. So she modeled her superhero appearance after her. Now, with Miss Marvel, who's also getting her own show on Disney Plus, with Miss Marvel, I'm thinking this is Marvel's way of relaunching the Inhumans. They tried kind of twice before with the original setup in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They had a season or two that was kind of focused strictly on that, and they were setting that up for the Inhumans to come in, and then that kind of fell on the back burner. And then they made the Inhumans TV show, which unfortunately didn't get good ratings. I liked it, but did not have good ratings, didn't have a good following behind it. It was canceled only after the first season. I think this is going to be their next relaunching point for the Inhumans, because one, there are Inhumans that are on Avengers teams. The Inhumans themselves in comics are a lot bigger and a lot more prevalent than a lot of the folks they've actually been focusing on. But since the Inhumans so far in the MCU haven't had a good run, they've kind of been, putting them in the back burner. And because there's a huge comparison between the Inhumans and the X-Men, so when you talk about the X-Men, you talk about the Inhumans and vice versa. So with them constantly talking, with them bringing up the Inhumans more and more, you kind of got to need that other side to get brought in too. The good thing about that, though, is that with places like Madripoor showing up from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Madripoor is a location that has been pretty much directly connected with the X-Men, and certain X-Men specifically, like Wolverine, who in the nation of Madripoor, they know him as Patch. I always hated the character of Patch. He doesn't make any sense. He literally is just Wolverine with an eye patch on. Like, he's not wearing his Wolverine costume or anything. He's just wearing regular clothes or like a suit and stuff. But he just wears an eye patch. He doesn't change the hair, doesn't change the sideburns or anything. He just literally wears an eye patch over his left eye and goes by the name Patch. So everyone calls him Patch. Even though so many people know that, like, hey, that's Wolverine. He's just wearing an eye patch. I guess somebody poked him in the eye or something. That's about it. But there they know him as Patch. Now, I was hoping during Falcon and the Winter Soldier, when Madripoor was first introduced, there would be some kind of, some kind of reference, some kind of hint, an Easter egg maybe that there was a character named Patch, maybe owning or running a bar or just being a well-known character around that area. But I think eventually that will come. They've introduced Madripoor knowing the connection that it has to the MCU, to the X-Men in the comics. So I'm pretty sure that they are, dropping more and more tiny little hints and breadcrumbs that the X-Men will be making their appearance sometime soon. This is just me off the top of my head. I'm thinking it's 2021. I'm thinking within the next 4 years, the X-Men are going to be officially wrapped in and introduced into the MCU. Because if you've seen all the newest trailers and things they're bringing out, they're definitely shifting more away from the strictly kind of realism based movies, if that makes sense. Since they're expanding the whole universe of magic and everything with WandaVision and Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness and everything. And then there's, what else you got going on? There's Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Sorry for mispronouncing that. That was crazy. But there's Ant-Man and the Wasp with Quantumania. They're going into a whole the microverse and everything. There's the Inhumans and everything else getting brought in. There's a lot that it seems like they're very just disparate little things going on. But in terms of the comics and how they're all interconnected, it makes sense that they're bringing in so many different random things at one time. The Fantastic Four is going to be showing up at some point. If you guys saw that trailer that they had for all the movies that were getting announced and how it ended with the four at the end and everything. What else? There's Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which is going to bring the Mandarin, who was, usually a Iron Man, but I'm assuming is going to be getting repurposed for, something else. And with a lot of the different things that are going on, we're still hoping and guessing about a lot. We don't know if Miles Morales is going to show up in the new Spider-Man movie, though there have been rumors. Though I don't want him to, because Miles Morales, when he does show up, he's supposed to be a younger replacement for Peter Parker after Peter Parker died. And this Peter Parker that we still have is still young, still a kid. So I don't really want to see him get killed off. Now, if they added in another Spider-Man, or, the whole Miles Morales, who's originally from an alternate universe, if somehow he was brought into ours, I'd be fine with that. And there'd be two Spider-Mans and everything. I just don't want Peter Parker to get killed off too soon. That's my only real issue. That's the only thing I don't want to see. But there's been a lot of rumors going on that they may be bringing Robert Downey Jr. back in some way as either possibly an alternate universe Tony Stark who never died, because the whole situation with Thanos and everything either played out differently or just never happened, or as an AI, which is just his voice. Basically, Robert Downey Jr. is going to be the new Jarvis. And he would be acting as an AI / mentor to Riri Williams, aka Ironheart, when she's brought into the comics, brought into the MCU, who's also been talked about getting her own TV show. They haven't officially said whether it's happening or not, but there have been lots of rumors. So it could be happening, it might be canceled, you don't really know. But Riri Williams is supposed to be brought to the MCU at some point, hopefully soon. And when that happens, the original Iron Man, Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr., is supposed to act as a mentor in some way, whether he is physically there or as an AI and is just, like 3D hologram voice capture crap. Then there's supposed to be a Nova movie, which I'm I'm cool with. I'm wondering if it's gonna be Nova Richard Rider or Nova Sam Alexander, which is the young Nova who showed up more recently, or if it's gonna be a just genuine Nova Core movie, possibly encompassing the past, such as when the Nova Corps formed, maybe what happened when Thanos attacked and took the I believe it was the Power Stone that they had, the one that the Guardians all shared at the end of the movie that the Xandarians and took into their custody at the end, or if this is going to be a continuation from after the reforming of the Nova Corps after it was decimated by Thanos, because you know seemingly he destroyed more than half of the Nova Corps to get the Infinity Stone that he needed. Now, I'm hoping that Marvel isn't. I'm hoping that the Marvel movies and the MCU in general isn't going the same way some of their comic books have gone, and it's where where it's supposed to be one giant connected universe, but we've had 1,000 different stories all taking place that seem to have no interconnectivity to them. Like there have been people asking, why did Spider-Man not show up in Falcon and Winter Soldier? It's like, well, because at the moment, Spider-Man may be off handling something else. But if that can only be explained so often. That excuse can only be used so often to just say, oh, well, they were busy doing something else. Like, whoa, what is the other stuff that they were busy doing if they couldn't help with this stuff that seems super important? Like, we have all these other heroes in the world and no one else ever shows up to help anybody else. What's going on that's so important in their lives and in their situations that they can't help, anyone else, especially when they're supposed to be, teammates, they're Avengers and whatnot. But why is nobody helping each other? Like WandaVision, no one showed up there. Like, no one crossed over and helped Wanda there. Even though a lot of people expected, Benedict Cumberbatch to show up playing Doctor Strange, or we oddly got her brother, but not her brother. So that kind of didn't count because we didn't really get Quicksilver. We got some weird, what do we call it? Some weird knockoff. I guess that's the word I'm going to use. A weird knockoff of her brother. And then in Falcon and Winter Soldier, we didn't really get any crossovers there. We didn't get anybody else to show up. The most we got was the Dora Milaje showing up, which now that Bucky has such a strong connection with Wakanda, makes sense. Yeah, like nobody really outside of that area. We had, Emily Van Camp show up as Sharon Carter, or the Power Broker now, who is her appearance and everything she's going on with now that she's a bad guy, a villain, which I don't really understand why. Like, I get it, kinda. Like, I guess Marvel was like, okay, well, she's upset that she didn't get a pardon, and even though Sam was working to get her a pardon, she's still turning on America. I don't really understand it. Maybe it's gonna, make more sense later on when like Armor Wars happens, because I'm assuming her talking about, having access to all of the government's like resources and tech and all that, armories and things. That's leading directly into Armor Wars happening. And for those of you who don't know what Armor Wars is, it's a film coming out that is based on the comic book storyline of Armor Wars, where the plans and design specs for Tony Stark's Iron Man suits was disseminated around the world, and where there were just countless knockoffs from different companies. AIM had an Iron Man suit, like everyone, every possible group that you could think of had an Iron Man suit. But there was Russian Iron Man suits, Croatian Iron Man suits, African Iron Man suits, Japanese Iron Man suits. Like every country had Iron Man suits, and there was an issue because not that many people should have, incredibly powered suits of armor that can cause so much destruction. So it was an issue. But I think hopefully in Armor Wars they explain why she had such a turn of character. But there's also the possibility that she was also being played by a Skrull imposter who hadn't quite got down her personality, or was kind of trying to stand out on their own. Not sure at the moment. Like anything else, we're just going to have to wait and see. Now, Sam Wilson as Captain America is supposed to be continuing in a fourth Captain America movie, and he's going to be continuing that role. But there's also another Captain America movie rumored to be in the works that supposedly has Chris Evans in it back as Captain America. Now, with all of these rumors going around, that there's supposed to be two separate Captain America movies going on that are not the same. There are two separate Captain America movies with both Captain Americas. I'm thinking, and I'm most likely wrong, this could be leading possibly to a Secret Empire happening. And for those of you who don't know what Secret Empire is, there's this thing called the Cosmic Cube. It's a lot like an Infinity Stone. For those that saw the Tesseract, or what they call the Cosmic Cube in the first couple movies, it's what they used to say it was an Infinity Stone. Even in the comics, are two completely different things. The Tesseract in the comics is not an Infinity Stone. It's not a container for an Infinity Stone. It's a different thing. It's a Cosmic Cube. It has very similar powers to an Infinity Stone, but it's not the same thing. It's like a wish box sort of with the Tesseract. Like if you control it, you can basically wish for anything you want, any power or anything like that, and it will change reality to suit your wishes. Well, in the comics, a Cosmic Cube ended up gaining sentience, kind of becoming alive, and the Red Skull convinced it to I think his name was Kubik, something like that. But convinced it to change reality to where Steve Rogers is and always was from the jump a Hydra agent. Before he even got the super soldier serum, he was still a good guy, but he was secretly a Hydra agent. They explained that his mother had been in Hydra meetings from beforehand, and they indoctrinated him as a Hydra youth. And so when he got the super soldier serum, like the whole thing, everything he had done was all just to lead to the point of him finally turning when he was at the right moment and showing that he was a Hydra agent. So how they did this in the comics was they had him, I believe, like shoot someone and then kick Agent Phil Coulson like out of a plane or something while saying "Hail Hydra." Like you've probably seen the picture. It's a picture of Captain America next to, I believe it's Coulson, like tied up and bound and gagged or something, and he's just standing next to him, just "Hail Hydra," and it's just a little speech bubble right in front of his face, "Hail Hydra," and he's just and it's like, oh my god, it kind of broke the internet for a little bit because people were so crazy about it. Like, what the hell happened? Like, it's Captain America. He's the most anti-Hydra person ever. And he, turned out to be a Hydra agent. But then they explained, like, oh, it wasn't actually Steve Rogers. It was a, alternate Steve Rogers because the real Steve Rogers, Kobik had, put in an alternate reality somewhere. And it was a fake Steve Rogers that she made that had that whole backstory and everything. And then the real one and the fake one fought, and people knew the truth, and the fake one was captured and defeated. And like classic regular comic book stuff, the bad one was beaten, and the real one had to suffer with rebuilding his reputation and everything and all that, and gaining the trust back of the world and America. and all that jazz. You know, the regular comic book stuff, how it usually happens. But they could be setting up for possibly a secret empire and having that go on. I'm most likely wrong. I doubt they're going to go that way. Though they could. I mean, if you've looked online, all you got to do is Google, like, Captain America Hydra or Captain America Evil, anything like that. And they've got pictures that people have edited with, like, Chris Evans and, like, this dope ass Captain America, like, black and red Captain America suit. It looks hard as hell. But, I mean, to see that come to real, like come to life, that would be dope. But I know it would never happen. Because, honestly, I don't want to see Chris Evans as a Nazi. He's a good guy. Big ups, Chris Evans. You're a good guy. I mess with you, bro. And I know you like black chicks, so I fuck with you, fam. I know you down for the swirl. Y'all, if you ain't seen that video, Chris Evans getting that black chick number, look it up. Look it up. Because he clearly got that game. He clearly got that game. But I digress. Marvel is expanding MCU a lot. There is the Eternals going on, which the Eternals is going to be, apparently that movie is going to be, like, the time frame of that movie is going to be like, I think it's like 10 million years or something like that. Like, it's going to be a very long time. Like, it's going to be from, like, the birth of their race, I believe, to, like, them in modern times, and possibly even in the future, maybe. So, I'm not entirely sure. But there's the Eternals going on, and with the Eternals, that's going to be bringing in the, hopefully that brings in the Deviants, and, what is it? Those the Eternals, the Deviants, and there's something else. There's some other race that I can't remember from the comics. If you know it or find it, please put it in the comments, because it's gonna help me, because I'm not, I can't remember how to name part right now. But sorry, there's a lot that they are slowly expanding on in the MCU, to where they're really building a universe. Like, it's a universe, but they're really building a universe and everything that's going on. And you got Thor: Love and Thunder coming out, which is gonna be, oh my god, it's gonna be awesome. I haven't seen, like, anything for it, but I know it's gonna be awesome just based on the characters and the storyline behind it. Gore the God Butcher is in it, and Gore the God Butcher is a character that has literally, like, he's going around the Marvel universe killing gods, like Asgardian gods, Greek gods. Like, if you call yourself a god, he has to kill you. He's not like he's not like some robot that's programmed to kill gods. He's an actual, like, alien that, like, I hate gods. Like, he hates them because he saw how the so-called gods of his people treated people, and he's like, yeah, no, gods, if you're a so-called god, you have to die. I'm gonna kill you. Okay, I'm working all y'all out. And he has this thing called All Black, the Necro Sword. Some of you may have heard this already if you know it from the comics. But if you haven't, it is a sword that can kill gods. Now, recently in the comics, it's turned out that All Black is actually a part of, and was created by, No, the dark god of the void, who stands for just death and nothingness and the emptiness of annihilation. Now, No is also the symbiote god. He created the Clintar race, which is what Venom, Carnage, Phage, Riot, Scream, Toxin, and any other symbiote related came from. He is the originator of their species. He made them. They rebelled against him and, like, all encompassed him and trapped him inside a planet of them, made of them. Which is why the word Clintar in their species language actually means prison, I believe, or cage. Well, With Gore coming in into the MCU, he should be bringing all black the Necrosword because he was the first character, I believe, that wielded it. He lost it, and I believe Loki gained it afterwards. And then, comic book shenanigans happened, and somebody else had it. But it eventually was, revealed that all black came from Null, who created the symbiotes and was there before everything. Now, if all black is in, hopefully that will mean at some point they will lead to the King in Black, or Null as he's called. And it's Null, Knull, for those of you that don't know. Now, with Null, that could work for them bringing in the symbiotes. With Spider-Man, hopefully tying into I doubt it's going to happen because they're being really stubborn on these deals. With Sony and their Spider-Verse going on, and then with Marvel and their Spider movies going on, like, just work out a deal to where it's all one. That's what they need to do, but they're being ridiculous about it. Hopefully, I know I'm just rambling, but I'm just hoping that Noel gets brought in at some point, and with Noel being brought in, of course we have to bring in the Enigma Force, and like I said, spoilers before, fine, spoiling all kind of comics and movies, everything for you right now, okay? Hopefully that will bring in the Enigma Force, which means not Captain Marvel, Captain Universe, which is a force that hasn't showed up in the MCU yet, but showed up in the comics, like when certain characters needed, like Spider-Man has been Captain Universe, Daredevil has been Captain Universe, I believe, Storm, lots of people have had access to it at certain times, but it's just a force that chooses who its wielder is, and only when they need like the most desperate of times. Spider-Man had it for a while, and if you look up like Spider-Man Captain Universe, you'll see that he had this really, I wouldn't say cool because it looked kind of weird costume, but it had the mouthpiece on it was still like webbed like Spider-Man, but the rest of it was essentially a Captain Universe look. I wasn't a big fan of the look itself. I am a fan of the power set because it's amazing. But I think Marvel is slowly building towards some of the like biggest events that have ever happened in comics being brought into the MCU, but they're just not trying to rush it too much. And I'm okay with that. You saw what happened with DC. They rushed and poop. Like, not that I don't, like the DC movies, but you messed up. You know you did. So Marvel isn't rushing, and I'm okay with that. Take your time. A slow build is sometimes good, and with them also having not just the movies, but TV shows and possibly even video games tying in. There's a lot going on. There's a whole universe, a legit universe that they're building, and I'm okay with it because in Marvel itself, if you're a Marvel comic fan like me, I mean, as you can tell, I'm a big Deadpool guy. Always have been, always will be. In Marvel Comics, it's not just Earth that gets talked about. Like, it's not just New York City and magical and random places where events and things happen. Like, it's not just Earth. It's random galaxies, random planets off of different places. Like, it's all kind of stuff. Like, there are universe and galaxy traversing adventures and different teams going on. Like, the X-Men have been to space numerous times, and not just like to the moon and stuff. Like, Wolverine's been on multiple different planets. Like, Storm's been on multiple different planets. Like, pretty much everyone in Marvel goes like everywhere. Like, the Guardians of the Galaxy have been to Earth. And the people on Earth, like the regular folks that are usually stationed on Earth, have also done plenty of things on other planets. Like, Spider-Man's been on other planets. Spider-Man's been in different dimensions. Like, oh, Captain America, he's just, he's an American hero. Yeah, he's also an American hero that's kicked ass on like Mars and Titan and another galaxy and stuff. Like, yeah, Marvel, like Marvel, and all of their, like, just based off of the Prime Universe, Earth 616. Huge. Huge. Okay? Just so much stuff has happened. And if they're gonna cover even just the biggest, most important things that happened in comics and translate those over to the movies, there's gonna be so much huge stuff happening. Like expect to see Storm and Thor working together, making a storm that's the size of a planet. And I mean that, like a worldwide storm. Okay. Prepare to see Magneto launching asteroids at people that's the size of states. Okay, you're ready for Legion. You're ready for all kind of stuff. Like, man, you're ready for champion of the galaxy. Like, that's his name. That's not a movie. There's a guy named Champion. He's kind of like an alien Superman. He's one of like 4 different people in Marvel that's basically a parody or knockoff or pastiche of Superman. Like, very similar stories, very similar powers. And he's kind of that guy that they bring in. It's like, okay, we need a way to fix this. Bring in this guy that's like ultimately powerful. Okay, like Champion came. No, not Champion. It's not Champion. Gladiator. Gladiator's his name. His name is Gladiator. He has like purple hair and stuff. No, he's purple with a mohawk and a red outfit. It looks a lot like Superman's outfit. It even got like a triangle on it. But yeah, like there's a lot that I think Marvel is building towards, especially if you pick up like the little bits and pieces that get laid about, like they get like kind of tossed about, like Beta Ray Bill. They didn't talk about him in the last Thor movie, but that was definitely his face in those statues of the champions or whatever. That was definitely his face in there, and the fact that he's supposed to be showing up in Thor: Love and Thunder just further proves it. Like, he's been doing things beforehand. Like, he's been already, doing stuff and possibly out being a hero and whatnot. It's just we didn't know about it. There's other stuff going on. We just don't know about it yet. And there's been rumors that the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie may be our last last time seeing our boy Dave Bautista as Drax. Now, I'm not sure what's going to happen to him. I don't want to see him get killed off or anything, but I do like the character of Drax and the original character in the comics. I like the backstory of Drax as well. But the character of Drax itself also had a weird backstory because he had, I think, 2 or 3 different origin stories that eventually all had to get retconned into one, which was weird and convoluted. But if they did, it was like, hey, we're gonna actually use that and like change his backstory again, like use the actual comic things like and change his backstory again, and decide to make him somebody else. I guess I'd be okay with that. A lot of people would be pissed. I guess I'd be okay with that. But yeah, I think that's it. I'm rambling at this point. I'm gonna call it, guys. You know, sorry that it's been so long since I dropped a video. Thanks for sticking with me. If you watched this whole thing, listen to the whole thing, whatever you were doing. I know already. My videos are the kind of stuff you play in the background and you let go. I get it. Hey, I'm sorry, but thanks guys for sticking with me. Thanks for watching these videos. Please like, comment, and subscribe. To all of you out there who are showing any kind of love and support, I appreciate that. Thank you. Love you. Be safe. Be well. Be protected. Praying for you.